Welcome to the channel. Today we're taking a look at the Tokyo Marui FNX 45. We're going to swap out the inner barrel and the hop-up bucking. For this project we're using a 9-ball 113.5mm 6.03 inner barrel, and we're using the Maple Leaf 6-degree MR bucking as well. You can complete this project with your choice of barrel and bucking combination. You can use what I have here in front of you, or you can pick your own. It really doesn't matter. The key thing is to make sure that it's approximately 113.5mm. Too long and the barrel is going to stick out the end, and too short, you're really hurting yourself in terms of performance. And of course, make sure it's compatible with Tokyo Marui pistols. As far as the bucking goes, really sky's the limit. Just make sure it's high quality, and it's going to give you the performance that you're looking for. There's a lot of options out there. Do your own research in terms of stiffness and pick something that's right for you. First thing to do is make sure your weapon's safe. So remove the magazine, set it off to the side, and check the chamber to make sure that's all empty. After that, you're going to activate the takedown lever on the left hand side after locking the slide back. Rotate that counterclockwise, release the slide, and remove. Take the lower receiver and set that off to the side. It's not needed for this. The next step is to remove the recoil spring. To do that, compress the spring forward along the guide from the rear and tilt up. You'll see there's a notch on the end. That's what holds it in place. Tilting it up and out will release it. From this point, remove the inner barrel and the outer barrel assembly. To do that, pull the assembly forward, make sure it's detached from the nozzle, tilt it up, and slide towards the rear. Don't forget to remove the thread protector on the end as well, otherwise the barrel won't go through. Once that's off, remove the outer and inner barrel assembly. Some force may be needed as it does stick. After that, you can take the remaining slide and move it out of the way. It's no longer needed. From here, you need to remove the front lower screw. And that's what retains your hop-up assembly to the outer barrel. Magnetic tools are suggested as they do make the job easier. Once the screw is removed, you can slide the entire hop-up assembly and inner barrel towards the rear. The next step is to remove the two screws holding the two halves of the hop-up assembly together. Make sure to keep these separate as they are different lengths. The one towards the front is longer, the screw towards the rear is shorter. Once the two halves are separated, you can carefully remove the hop-up arm and set it off to the side. You can then remove the inner barrel and bucking assembly from the two hop-up halves. The hop-up is made up of a very nice metal. It's fairly durable feeling and quite high quality. The outer barrel is a 6.08mm. It's also very high quality. And the bucking, despite being a bit of an older style in terms of its nub design, is also quite high quality. Both these parts are no longer needed, so the original barrel and original bucking can be set off to the side. Now you'll need your new barrel and your new bucking. Here I've pre-installed the metal ring on the new bucking. The easiest way to do that is to squeeze the hop-up bucking and then slide the ring on from the edge. Here you can see the alignment tab that always goes at the bottom of the barrel. Opposite that is the BB contact patch. This design is a nice curved patch similar to an R-Hob. Here on the barrel, the opening is at the top of the barrel, and at the bottom you can see the alignment groove. I've pre-lubricated the barrel with some silicone spray. This will help the bucking slide on nice and smooth. The next step is to reinstall the barrel in the hop-up. In order to do this, you need to make sure you have both halves of the hop-up. The hop-up arm, and the hop-up screws. Off camera, I've applied some Loctite to the screws. That's a necessary step on arguably any AEG and gas blowback. You definitely don't want those screws backing off. So next you'll want to take your hop-up assembly and align the opening in the right hand side of the hop-up with the nub on your bucking assembly. Those two do fit together like that, and if everything's been done properly, the barrel will notch into place as well. After that, take your hop-up arm and carefully install it. In order to do that, you'll need to take the notch at the bottom of the hop-up arm and feed it into the opening on the hop-up wheel. The way this works is as the wheel rotates, that hole is slightly off-center. That will allow the hop-up arm to be raised or lowered. Carefully install it with the larger portion at the top and the notch inside the hop-up wheel. After that, take the remaining half of your hop-up assembly and gently install it. Everything should fit together. Make sure that your barrel is seated properly, that the bucking is not bent, torn, etc. And after that, you're ready to install the screws. Another reminder that magnetic tools are suggested that make small fine jobs like this a lot easier. When installing the screws, you want to make sure that they're nice and tight, but definitely don't over torque these. This isn't heavy equipment, automotive, etc. It's just an airsoft pistol. Make sure it's nice and snug. And after this, double check to make sure that everything in your hop-up assembly still functions normally. Once you've checked for proper operation, the next step is to reinstall the inner barrel and hop-up assembly into the outer barrel. Feed your inner barrel into the outer barrel assembly, and then install the locking tab. Once the tab is aligned, feed the rest of the hop-up into the outer barrel assembly. The tab and the hop-up will align, but it may take a little bit of force and a little bit of adjustment. Don't overdo it. It will slide in, it just takes a little bit of finesse. Once the hop-up's fully seated, install the last screw. To do this, make sure that the hop-up is in the rear position, and this allows you to gain proper access to the opening. Again, don't over torque these, make sure they're nice and tight, but don't strip anything. Once this is complete, you're ready to reinstall the fully assembled barrel back into the slide. To do this, take the barrel assembly and slide the front of the barrel into the front of the slide. You might need to apply a bit of force and work it around a bit just to make sure it does slide in. After that, reinstall the recoil spring, Seat the front of the spring into the front of the slide and compress towards the front. Push down and lock the rear of the spring into place. After that, reinstall the thread protector on the outer barrel. You're now ready to reinstall the fully assembled slide onto the lower receiver. This is a great opportunity though to also apply additional or replacement grease if needed onto the lower receiver and all the contact points. Make sure that your takedown lever is in the open position. Slide the slide onto the rails and push it towards the rear, locking it back. The barrel will move forward and back. Make sure it's in the rear position or the takedown lever won't properly engage. After that, release the slide. And your FNX 45 is completely reassembled. Now it's time to grab your magazine, fill it full of gas and BBs, and do a series of tests to make sure that the gas blowback pistol is operating as intended. If it's not, then something went wrong along the way and you'll need to troubleshoot, go back through the steps and make sure you find out what went wrong. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, make sure to hit that like button. And if you'd like to see more content like this, then go ahead and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.